Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, known as America's top foundational health coach, and I'm honored and privileged to say for my 47, going into my 48th year, that I presented health, healing, and hope to countless client patients during my practice. Before retiring, it was 35,000 client patients that I brought 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost with only a 5% recidivism rate. But then I did this thing called selling my practice, going into retirement, and COVID happened. You know, that thing that just set us on our ears. And it set us in a lot of a tailspin. And my husband said to me, "Are you just going to sit along the sideline?" I said, "But I don't do this and I don't do that. And things are like overwhelming. I don't even have a website." And he said, "But you have one thing. You have a skill set that people need." And what you're going to hear today with our esteemed guest on an hour version of Mindset Monday, because she just deserves a whole hour to hear about the power of money and her whole way of doing it. I will tell you this without a doubt, that nobody does it when you have a purposeful, passionate, and planned out life. That was mine in health. So then my husband looked at me and he said, there are only 57 things, they're alibis in that book. He was talking about the Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. He said, they're not 58. And then he turned around and said, just how much yoga are you going to do? In other words, why wait? And sometimes with the thing about your money and finances and it's this relationship, just say, don't wait. Just how much yoga or your self-improvement can you do without finance? It's part of the 6 pillars of health. And we usually have our financial person in January to start the new year off right. But why not now? Why not today? Just how much yoga are you going to do? Because it's spiritual health, it's mental health, emotional, physical, financial. And when you have your financial piece together, who doesn't want to do more, be more, and be philanthropic? Then you can do it in your social pillar of health. That's just the way it goes. And Julie Murphy, our guest here today on Life's Milkshake Moment, is just a milkshake and a mindset on all to herself. All right. As far as I'm concerned, she is the whole enchilada. And it's so wonderful how minds of a feather, like attracts like. All of a sudden, I get an email on my inbox from this Camille Cruz. Said, Julie Murphy would like to be on your show. I said, yeah. I checked her up and said, yeah. See, say yes. Say yes to this piece right here. Say yes to this piece as I'm sitting on my balance ball and I'm getting into this, ladies and gentlemen. Say yes to this piece that is you. The financial piece of your life is the bedrock for everything else that you want to be more. You've done those other 4 pillars, but you can do more with a financial skill set. It's just that easy. As Les Brown says, if you're having some financial struggles, it's been a bit this thing called the eye of inflation, but Julie has a way of bringing it to life and making fun out of it. When I saw her bio and she had an acrostic in there, I'm going, okay, she's my girl. Just because to me, it's memorable. Make your money memorable, make it meaningful, and make it magic. As Dame Doria of Money and You says, one of my great friends and colleagues, that you learn how to do these skills and you can be your own boss lady or your ball busting man, boss man too. It just works that way. And why does it? Because you are doing you in all 6 pillars of health. And so today, in December, make it a December to remember. Let's get into this thing called the fabulousness of finance. Let's get into the magic, and let's get into the magic, which is the fourth M, that fourth dimension, which is certainly Julie Murphy. And we will hear from her after this commercial break. But I want to tell you just one thing that Julie is. She is a CPA. Okay. When I say with PhD, when you have like initials after her name, she's earned it. She has been this for almost into her third decade. So if she's got those initials after her name, just take this commercial break, take a look, take a listen. But I thought it was just a magical piece to have Dame Doria Cordova, the founder of Money and You, the disciple and the prize student with Buckminster Fuller and his work, that she's taken it to almost the fifth decade that Dame Doria has been doing this work. Make sure you join us in January. You're going to put Julie's plans in place in December, then join us in San Diego, January 15th through 18th, 2025, an experiential seminar unlike any other. You will learn leverage. You will learn what to do with your money to make it work for you through interactive skill sets. And it will be the right mindset as we talk about mindset money. Make sure that you just DM me at Health Coach Jodee on Instagram, or send an email to my name, JODEE, at healthcoachjodee.com if you want any other information about this. But let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen to start out this money session on Mindset Monday with Dame Doria Cordova right here, right now.
Money and You is the longest running entrepreneurial, experiential, transformational training in the world. And we have been impacting the lives of over 200,000 graduates from over 85 countries since 1979. I am Doria Cordova, and I own Money and You, and I would like to invite you to join us to the next program, where you will have an opportunity to be with a group of people that will all be immersed in experiential games, where you have an opportunity to clear any blocks that you may have to really creating wealth and doing good, but at the same time, learn the business success model, which really immerses you into a conversation about leverage. Leverage is key in creating wealth and doing good. And we have the results to show that this program works. People like Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Ben Cohen of Ben and Jerry's, and many others have attended this program and changed their lives and created new industry and are some of the most well-known change makers in the world. Thank you. Aloha. Bye-bye.
And it's just enough to come out to San Diego in July, get rid of the snow, get away from that. And just in sunny San Diego, it will be a weekend to remember. Hope to see you there. In the meantime, this is what I know. I'm seeing you right here, right now with the incomparable Julie Murphy. As I said, when you've got those initials after your name, that means something. A certified financial planner, founder of JMC Wealth Management, but she went and got her BS from the University of Illinois. She was a Fighting Illini, and then she became at the MBA. She just kept fighting because she's part of the Fighting Irish as well. But 27 years she's been doing this, both in the U.S., abroad. Her consulting is portfolio management, asset allocation, including risk management, college planning, business retirement planning, estate planning, life, disability, long-term care insurance. List goes on and on. But like other certified financial planners, see, she's just not a CPA, she's a CFP, which means that she has a purpose and passion for you and your plan. But her approach is unique. So check this out. We're going to be talking about this acrostic. It says PACT. Picturing yourself, accepting reality, and an awakening choosing to change and taking action. So we're going to take action on this Mindset Monday, and we're going to take action with this gem of a CFP. It is Julie, CFP. Welcome to Mindset Monday, Julie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I had to laugh when you were saying the Fighting Irish and the Fighting Illini. And when I work with my soul coaches, they're like, Julie, the days of the Fighting Irish are over. No more fighting.
I just brought it back to life.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Absolutely. But fighting with little pom-poms, fighting with
right.
fun.
Oh yeah, with the divine feminine, right? Doing it the feminine way as opposed to the masculine way, which our educational system teaches us how to do.
Yes, we're definitely divine feminine. So let's divinely get into you, Julie, okay?
Let's do it.
And it's amazing when you get to see somebody in the flesh here, and we've seen each other on IG. I mean, it's got to be quite the story between the fighting, in the fighting, and being this Illinois girl, this Midwestern girl. So what is your background? How did you just find yourself, okay, I'm going into finance?
Right. So, I have 11 brothers and sisters. So had a lot of working experience growing up. And one of those jobs was delivering the Chicago Sun-Times and Chicago Tribune before school, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, my middle school years. And it was at that time that I actually started reading the business section. I was like, oh, and then I took accounting classes in high school. And then I was like, oh, I went to college thinking I was going to be an accountant. And then I turned out being a financial planner at the end of it all. And what I realized is that I really like people. And my uncle kept saying to me, you need to go in sales. You need to go in sales. I'm like, I did not pay for my own college education to go into sales when I could have done that without a degree, because that's who I am.
Yes.
Like, I'm a people person.
Yes.
And so I was like, how do I integrate my extrovert personality and connection with people with my degree? And that's literally how I wound up doing what it is that I do today, because it was something that made me tick along with, my natural abilities. And I started, I was a little feisty coming out of college, and I was I can't do corporate America. I was like, I have to beat to my own drum. And one of the big financial firms, John Hancock, had this program where they didn't own my clients. I owned my clients.
There you go.
And I was like, I'm on it. So I was on it. Didn't stop them from 8 years later trying to sue me to try to keep those clients when I was leaving. But that's okay. Life happens. And so I decided that when I was leaving the Hancock system going, I'm not really like a lot of the people in the financial services world. And I figured that out the day that one of my bosses said to me, you have to stop hugging your clients when they walk in the door. And I was like, what? That was like so foreign to me, because when people tell me about their blood, sweat, and tears, they're becoming financially naked, and I can't hug them because it wasn't professional. And I was just like, can't do that. And that's when I decided that I was going to be the non-mahogany desk financial firm. And I gave up my suit jackets, and I got this open brick loft space in the West Loop of Chicago, where we still operate today, and started letting my freak flag fly more and being more into the emotional side of money and human behavior, and integrating those two into a lot of the holistic, ways of plugging into the world. And that's when I was starting to work more with Deepak Chopra through the years and integrating our health and our wealth. I became Ayurvedic certified because I was really seeing that we either work things out or we act it out, and we do it through our health, our money, or our relationships. Because I would watch people to decrease
1,000,000%.
People would decrease their debt levels, but their weight would go up. And then their weight would go down and their debt would go back up. I'm going, what is going on inside that we're doing this seesaw? And so that's when I really started to pinpoint going, oh, emotions, and this is what I met through working with Deepak, emotions are unmet needs. And so the question is what were their unmet needs? And when you start to go after what the unmet need is, well, then I go into the process that I've developed for clients going, tell me, what is the life that you want to create for yourself? Like, you can tell me all about your reality. That's packed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Like you can tell me all about your reality, but let's talk about what you want to create first, because what you want to create needs to supersede your reality. Because if you only focused on your reality, you might not change anything because it might disappoint you or depress you or frustrate you. It's about, no, stay in the energy of going, I'm going over there, regardless of what's here today. And then we figure out how to get there. And so that's what really started me on this journey of really helping people. It's really about building your wealth from the inside out, as opposed to the outside in, meaning who are you? What do you want to be? What's natural for you? What are you passionate about? Like people say, well, what's the smartest financial decision to make? And I go, well, which one makes you giggle? And they look at me and they go, what does giggling have anything to do with effective asset management? I'm going, everything. Yes. Everything. And they're like, huh? And I go, the magnetic force of the human heart. And heartmath.org did all of this scientific research. So you can go there and you can find out the research all there. The magnetic force of the human heart goes for over 8 miles. Yes. But the magnetic force of the human mind goes for 2 feet. And the only reason the heart is only 8 miles is because they don't have anything to measure it bigger than that.
Yes.
And so
the head or the heart.
Right. So align your money with your heart. What makes you giggle? So if it makes you giggle, that means you're in tune with it on some level. And then what happens is you raise your frequency and vibration, and then more money comes to you, more opportunities come to you, more love comes to you, more everything starts to come, all because you followed your giggle, because that's in alignment with you.
Because humor and that emotion is just, when I work with clients, that heart frequency is just right under the divine frequency. I mean, without meeting you, just seeing each other on Instagram, I knew it was going to be instant love. We together, okay. but it's true. Transformation is an inside job. When you look in, you go out. So picture that thing. And then, because I just went over those real quickly. That's why I put that pack up. And you see juliemurphy.com, because she's the jewel for sure. But because I'm just thinking, picturing yourself, what makes you giggle, then you awaken to this.
Right. Okay. Well, and the first step before you awaken is you have to accept your reality. And the reason you accept your reality is because you need to create emotional space for the new stuff to come in. And if you don't accept what you've already created, you're emotionally constipated. Literally.
And the last time I checked, that constipation is very toxic.
Yes.
100%.
On
every level.
And so once you accept the reality that you've created, well, then we got to wake you back up going, where did that little girl go? Where did that little boy go? Where'd you go?
Yes.
Life happened. You derailed yourself a little bit. And then instead of having a life at the end of your life going, I woulda, shoulda, coulda, say, no, right here and right now. I'm going to wake myself back up and go, what's true for me today? So like, for an example, when I got divorced, I was angry. And I was like, I know anger is just deep sadness. And then I would tap my heart and go, why am I sad? Why am I sad? Why am I sad? Because I realized Julie had never failed at anything in her entire life. And I was finding myself divorced. And it was like, but it was just the fact that I had to feel those feelings so they could come up and out so that I could get to the next place.
Yes.
Right?
Feel the feelings, transformation, whether it's your money, and whether it's money, and all 6 pillars is an inside job. And that's a perfect place. So let's take our next commercial break, because we're going to come back into this. Awaken your wealth. Oh yes. It's I didn't figure out exactly how to get it in a big enough thing, that this Google slide, but it's there. It's your book and it's good enough. So we're going to come back to that after our next commercial break, which this is very, very telling. It's with one of our sponsors, New Hope Regeneration. I believe that when you get the right stem cell, you can do well. I'm living proof. Being paralyzed from my shoulders on down at age 24 and having neck pain, even though I was able to walk and do all my triathlons and everything else. I had neck pain until I was attracted to New Hope. Regeneration made all the difference, and it can make all the difference for you and your health. Let's take a look, take a feel, take a listen.
Hope and restoration really are ingrained in us. We're designed. It's literally in our DNA. The ability to have the body heal and have the mind and the soul, all these things are important. But what I believe my path is, and the way that I help people with that process, is that I specialize in the physiological aspect. So for 20 years in my private practice as a board certified structural integrator, I thought I was helping people restore their bodies, but I realized I was helping them manage their decline. The restoration of families is significant. I can't tell you how many times I would have a mom in tears in my office because she couldn't get on the floor and play with her kids. I would have a dad who couldn't go on a hike or throw a ball with his son or his daughter. It's really, when you ask people, what's the biggest problem here? My back pain hurts. Okay, if you didn't have back pain, what would you do? Then we get the list of, my wife and I could go on a motorcycle ride. We could go camping. I could go play soccer with my son. I could, whatever it happens to be. Now we're in a situation where a person can receive these amazing infinity cells. The body can use those cells for what it knows it needs to do. Our clients are able to receive the most simple thing that I have ever seen in all of healthcare, and they're able to get their life back at a level that many people would say was impossible. And quite frankly, until 5 years ago, I would have also told you that was impossible because we never see it. And now we see it all over the country, hundreds of times a day, thousands of times a year. And now I've observed this process over 125,000 times. I just almost don't have words to know, after I've seen it so many times, what kind of hope people can get back in their lives. If we can help your body do what it's naturally designed to do, which is to regenerate and restore and heal, you can then begin to do so many other things that you didn't think you were ever going to be able to do. And that really is why, I'm so obsessed with what we're doing.
So look up New Hope Regeneration. They're located across the country in 19 different cities, because it's true. Managing and decline, that's managing your finances. Very, very attuned thing with this. And how about let's just regenerate and renew, and that comes with an awakening. And I'm just going to add it the way I found it. There you go. Awaken your health, because it's health and wealth. We already talked about picturing, accepting reality. Now that's awakening. And you can find Julie's amazing book at Amazon.com. So look for it here. So how did this book come about? And just tell us all about that.
Well, what I started to realize, so again, I mentioned earlier that I didn't grow up with money. I had 11 brothers and sisters. Dad was an electrician. Mom was an at-home mom. And what I realized is that I figured out how to become income affluent, but then also understanding that there's a different affluence, which is the asset affluence, and they're different, right? And in that process, I started to apply all these holistic philosophies into the process that I worked with clients one-on-one. And so what I realized going, a lot of people need this, and a lot of people can't necessarily afford to sit one-on-one with a financial planner and write a check for $5,000 for a year of service, which is what a lot of our one-on-one clients, they pay that or more. And so I wanted to create products for people that no matter where you were financially, that you could plug in. And so that set me on my trajectory of creating the Julie Murphy brand, which is my books, my workshops, my online courses, everything that no matter what financial price point you're at, there are resources for you, and depending on where you want to plug in. And so that's really how this book came into form, because it's the process that I actually walk my one-on-one clients through, along with
awakening your wealth. That's and how can you awaken your wealth? Okay, keep going. I just want to have that.
Absolutely. Well, and I put exercises in there, and I also have a workbook that goes along with it to kind of help you go through going, I've done courses, I've done this, I've done that, I've worked on my financials, but it's like, this is a whole new approach of how you approach your finances. And it's about putting you as the priority in your dreams and your desires, which is the picturing piece. And so I walk you through that entire process, just like I would with a client one-on-one.
So you took the words right out of my mouth. So that makes you different. Number one, it's not just this price point or nothing. You get in where you fit in. You get in where you are in the now. Then you can have
exactly
more. And I'm sure it's all there at juliemurphy.com. But awaken your wealth. So what would be if people are listening to this? Is this is an inflation. I'm drowning in debt. I want to have a holiday for my kids, but I don't want to have this debt, and I don't. People are going to be listening to this. It's
right.
What is the first thing that you would just advise them to do?
Well, the first thing I want you to do is I want you to be open to a new paradigm.
Yes.
And because let's just say you're debt laden, right? All your cash today goes to paying for all your past choices, which is a lot of America today, that we all have pigeonholed ourselves into a lifestyle. And that doesn't matter if it's a lifestyle of 40 grand a year or 400 grand a year. You've pigeonholed yourself into a lifestyle in most cases because you have car loans, house loans, mortgages, right? Credit card debt, whichever. It's part of the system today. But that system has actually created your own personal financial jail cell.
Yes.
Because you have to wake up today to pay for yesterday.
Yes.
And that doesn't feel good to anyone. That's why people are so happy when they pay off their house, when they pay off their car. Right? So I'm just asking people, be open to a new paradigm. And that paradigm is looking at cleaning up your financial past while also living in the present moment, and plan for your future that you want to create, that you've pictured simultaneously. I want you to do that all at the same time. Why? Because if you only focused on your past and you took all your extra cash flow and you pay, exactly, that's how people feel.
And eating ramen noodles. What's going to happen with your
right?
And I can't have this, and I can't have this, and I can't go ahead and get a pay-per-view on TV or so. You put in that jail cell, that depravity zone.
Right. Because all you do when you operate from that way, all you're doing is saying to the universe, oh, I want more of that. Because it's the only thing you're focusing on. It's the only thing you're energizing. So you are going to create more debt and more structure, or more ramen noodles if it's your health, right? Because it's all you're focusing on. So we need to interrupt that suffering spike cycle. We need to interrupt how you're operating from a place of financial scarcity. So by interrupting that process, you say, okay, well, your past are your debts. The present moment is how your cash is flowing. And please note how I don't call that a budget, because a budget also doesn't make people feel good.
It's just like the ramen noodles of finance, right?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And it's just about, no, we have to come to a place with our money from a place of empowerment, as opposed to something that deflates you. So a budget and debt payments deflate people. But yet we've created a lot of that suffering cycle, right?
Yes.
So this is about,
you have to own it.
Right. And just say, okay, this is the accepting of reality, right? Because once you own it and you accept it, you kind of go, all right, well, that's reality. So now what do I do about it now? Like, just be like, all right, how do I block and tackle my way out of this one?
Right.
But what you do.
That's a fighting. Oh, you became a fighting Irish again. You blocked and tackled.
Yeah, sorry. My grandfather played football for Notre Dame, so it's kind of like ingrained in my DNA. But so what it is that choose your cash flows, choose how you want it to go. So look where things are going and go, do I still want it to be that way, or do I want to change it? And how do I want to change it? And don't make it that, well, I have to do this because of X, Y. You don't have to do anything.
No,
nothing.
You choose to.
Which is why the C in my process is choosing to change. That's what the C stands for.
Fell right into that, didn't we?
It was like the alley-oop.
Love it.
But then also planting the seeds. So for an example, most people don't want to change their lifestyle when I first meet them. But what's most important is I say, okay, When's your next pay raise? When is a bonus? Do you get tax returns? Tell me about when your car debt is paid off. Tell me about when your credit card's paid off. Because those payments or those increases in income are what I call newfound money. And when you have these opportunities where it's not affected you yet, most people have their car payment already spent before it's over.
Yes.
They think about what else it's going to go to. And so the way you interrupt the suffering cycle is you say, no. You're most likely going to buy another car at some juncture.
Yes.
Likely.
Yes.
So instead of paying a bank, pay yourself.
Yes.
I love online savings accounts. There's tons of different vendors out there with them. And what you do, you start putting that $500 a month into an account that you actually name it your new car fund. So you don't use that money for any other reason except for when you're buying your next car. Yes. This is how you go from playing financial defense to financial offense. And as simple as it sounds, it's about that you're interrupting the suffering cycle. You're not taking that $500 and you're going, okay, well, now I'm going to go get new appliances all over my house or my new windows, and I'm going to pay $500 a month on that. No, because you're staying in the debt cycle then.
And you're still in that financials jail. But
right.
This is the financial opportunity of choosing to do something different, choosing that you are getting back to that transformation.
Correct.
1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost when clients would go ahead and my client patients would say, I deserve it. Weight came off.
Right.
Just like that.
Yep.
Just like that. Without a doubt.
Because you accepted the reality that you were overweight. Mm-hmm. And then you woke yourself back up going, I don't need all this protection anymore. I'm ready to let it go.
Yes.
I'm ready.
And you're so ready. And I want to just, I want you to kind of, let's segue into this. I'm so ready. So if you're there coming back to this, because you hear this over and over again. I mean, we've all seen butter go from like $2 to $7. Come on.
Right.
Even Stevie Wonder, bless him, would see that. I mean, it's just like this. And I'm vegetarian, so I didn't have to worry about bacon. But the idea is that, so you've seen this, and this is a reality. I choose differently. So if you are one of these people out there drowning in debt, making that first step, what's the advice on that one?
It's the first step of saying, okay, get the debt as efficient as you possibly can. Meaning, like, if you don't have it at 0%, go to creditcards.com, click balance transfers, and transfer to something that's 0%. So then you're at least mitigating your interest, right? If your credit score is not good enough to do that, well, then do the things that improve your credit score. Look at your credit reports. Get the things cleaned off that aren't supposed to be on there, right? And you can refuse these things on your credit reports, right? To get them off. And so if you're somebody it's about then when one of those credit cards are paid off, take a third of that payment and add it to the next highest rated debt that you have. And I talk about this all in my book, in Awaken Your Wealth, in the process, because I have you do a cash flow worksheet. I have you do a debt worksheet where you organize and structure it. And then once you get that structured and you get those debt payments on autopilot, then what we put on autopilot is you then being able to play offense with things. So I tell people, I'm like, come on, you could put $10, $25 a month into something that is now playing offense.
And not eat ramen noodles and not even miss it.
Right.
And all of a sudden you're not playing defense. You're the quarterback of your own financial future.
Right. I ask people all the time, I'm like, so do you want to go on vacations? And they go, yeah, but I have any money to do that. I have to get that. I go, well, which account do you have set up for that goal? And they're like, I don't have an account. I'm going, well, okay, then it's not really a goal. Like, it's a wannabe, but you're not actually energizing it with your money to an account that says vacation fund. So I work backwards with people and say, you want to go on vacations? How many vacations a year do you? Like, it's simple, but people don't think through the process. Like, well, I'd like to go to one big one every other year and 2 small ones every year. Okay, so I know that if it's one big one, you're spending $5,000 to $8,000. And then on the little ones, you're spending $2,000 to $4,000. Okay, So then you work those numbers backwards. Well, that's how much money per month that needs to go into a vacation fund or per paycheck to make that your reality. A lot of times when people do that, they don't have that. They don't have $600 a month to put into a vacation fund. So I say, well, then you start where you're at. You don't have anything but your reality. Nothing.
Yes.
You only have your reality. So if you can only start it with $50 a month, who cares? Start it because it's your intention.
It's that intention staying here. This is like the ultimate, Julie. I've just got to say, this is the ultimate manifestation. I would call it the Julie Murphy, the secret of money. It's like the secret. And so you're manifesting this and whatever. And truly, it becomes fun. I'm obviously your passion is there, your focus is there, but your people skills. My very first mentor was when I was on the medical advisory board with Mary Kay Cosmetics. And she said, P&L is not profit and loss, it's people and love. You see,
that's beautiful.
Because you changed from the mahogany desk to the loft. You became person-centered rather than profit-centered. And look at you. Or as Les Brown would say, look at here, look at here, look at here. So we're going to take our commercial break with look at here with our wonderful sponsor, Medical Mindshare. Look at here. They took, Julie, Renee and Michael Brown took a concept of next level recovery centers. Then they took it to people that have been with mental illness, have had a case with depression, often are homeless. They created a non-for-profit next level recovery housing. Now they've taken it to the next level in Medical Mindshare, a true integrated process of making your health really matter. And I just love telling Renee and Michael's story. Take a look, take a feel, take a listen to Medical Mindshare.
From the well-known brands of Next Level Recovery and Sober Living Properties, Michael and Renee Brown present Medical Mindshare. Medical Mindshare has been designed to deliver integrative care and precision medicine throughout the community. Discover a more personalized path to wellness. Some people might ask, why is integrative care up and coming medically? Our answer is that integrative care can be tailored to your specific needs and goals. Integrative care considers mindfulness as a modality and many other alternative therapies amongst traditional medicine. Another feature of Medical Mindshare is enhanced recovery and rapid healing. It's always at the forefront of our minds so that you can experience accelerated healing and a reduction of symptoms. Contact us today to schedule a consultation.
Yes, they are magic with this. And because I'm just keeping your ticker going. The website is medicalmindshare.com. And I promise you, they bring heart and loving kindness into this. And I just want to say one more time, please, if you're watching this broadcast, just go ahead and click that scan code, because that's about giving. Because what we have is giving, and what we did with our book, because people think that North Carolina is, well, the Hurricane Helene is over. It's not over. I mean, truly, it's 39 degrees. It was 39 degrees in Central Florida this morning. Okay, I needed a bun warmer because I'm a wimp. Okay, but these people are in Western North Carolina. They're trying to figure out how they can build back on the property that's been washed away. So they're still in tents. Not even FEMA trailers. And these children are sitting there because it's not 1 out of 5 children that are going hungry in Tibet, in Zimbabwe. It's right here in the U.S. That's why we went out and partnered with feedthechildren.org. I'm so grateful that we were able to cut a really fat check in and then it didn't need to have a weight reduction. No, we made weight inflation. That really fat check for the proceeds of how well our book did in October. And we want to keep this going because when you, like Julie, you and I, we buy this book together and tell two friends. Now I know I'm dating myself, but I'm older than most people here. So it's that deal with you tell two friends who know two friends. You can share that with two of your friends, and that child will eat 6 months without going to bed hungry. That is the purpose and passion behind the Essence of a Woman book. And we'd love for you to just join in our mission. We'll be more about this come February with Princess Meradian and our UN initiative. For right now, just scan that code, make that happen. But now we're going to make Miss Julie happen because I was thinking, oh my goodness gracious, when I saw what things that you had, she's available for keynotes about anything. And wouldn't you like to hear somebody that wasn't stuffy about money, but makes it silly and fun about money? That's what I just felt you and knowing this. And I'm just thinking, okay, how can we collaborate? Because it's, I mean, you feel it. I feel it. You
totally
can't fake real. All right.
No, you can't.
A free impact workout. See, if you're that person, so where do I begin? Begin with free impact, free book, free emotion behind money. You don't need any. That is free. Right. Then get her book. Go ahead, do her courses. She's got an audio book. She's everywhere that you can imagine. And her Instagram account, like I said, on her Instagram, I can't imagine. Awaken with Julie. That's so you. So I'm going to say I've given you kind of a smorgasbord, like a multiple choice. Pick one.
A, B, C, D. You don't fail.
Absolutely. So tell us about your, yes, I'm going to keep the free up there just so people can see
it's really about the fact that, when we're making shifts and transformation in our life, sometimes you really just need to be around a support system, right? People who are at where it is that you would want to be and being in that energetic space and getting the support that you need. So that's when I started to create these free workshops. So I have one coming up here in January, and what it is you're going to spend an hour and a half with me in a group coaching, and you come with any questions that you have, any places that you're stuck, and I'm going to coach you on the spot right then and there to help you get past your next hurdle and whatever that is.
So they can go to juliemurphy.com, register for that. What is the date of that, Julie?
We just, we just moved it to it's the end of January because I wound up going with my kids out of town for winter break. So I don't remember the date off the top of my head. I know it's the end of January though.
And isn't this great that it wasn't just about money? She was about being mom. Good job.
Yeah, I was. I had it at the beginning of January because I'm like, start your new year right. And I'm going, my new year right is for me to be with my kids. And so it's, again, this is where I talk about it's not an either or, it's an and. Yes. It's about helping other people and also doing what's in alignment with my heart too. And that's what I teach other people to do as well. Because when you're a big giver, sometimes you forget about yourself.
Yes. And
we don't want that to happen. And I'm no different than everybody else out there.
No. And being a big giver, just at this, especially at this, is just open yourself up for these new possibilities, open yourself up for these new realities for yourself, because then you're open to new opportunities. True?
Absolutely. It opens your whole field up because you're in alignment with self. That's the key. That is the key. And so I started doing these free workshops because it's important for people to just, if you don't know where to get started, that's where you start. Even if you just show up and you're a fly on the wall, you don't have to go live. You don't have to ask your question. But what I know is you're energetically pulled there because you have something in common with somebody else that's on that call, and they're going to ask the question for you. And you're going to be like, got it.
Got it. Got it.
That's how it works. That's how it works.
and you so work. I mean, and how amazing. I love the thing, because you are the boss, babe. You've got your business, you've got your team, you've got this. I promise you're not going to turn into a pumpkin out in the burbs because you were a fighting Illini and a fighting Irish. Okay, you won't resist that. Okay, you won't resist
Absolutely.
and so you come into the flow, because you know that you are doing it all. It's just like Trisha Ben, who is my great friend from C-Suite, the CEO of C-Suite. She said, travel isn't bad. Being a business owner isn't bad. It's having all this work to do. I choose to live an and life. So you choose to live an and life, and the
Absolutely.
and you choose when it becomes a full plate, and you choose and when it doesn't go into a turkey platter.
Correct. Absolutely. And we have to understand that every part of it's a choice.
Yes.
Every part.
Every part. So put that thing. I always loved a real great friend of mine who is a certified financial planner, about CPA. Accounting is one thing, planning is another. True or true?
True.
Yes. Skill set. Okay, I passed that test. But to me, it's such a rewarding thing to think, okay, why not, if I'm going to tithe to my church or my charity, why not tithe to myself first? Because you deserve it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because here's the thing. If you don't take care of self, then you are not as strong to do more help.
No.
Because you're suffering right along with them.
Yes.
As opposed to creating your solid foundation along with helping. Because I'll tell you, more comes to you the more you do that. Like volumes. It's a quantum leap. It's absolutely a quantum leap. And when we realize that that's actually how it works, you're going, oh, I like that. How do I get more of that? How do I do more of that? Well, it's just about aligning with self and not doing either or, but doing the and.
And awakening nobody but you, and just being in that divine feminine. That's the
absolutely.
End. Like that yes. was pretty, yeah, I like that. And I had to pull this up because now that I put you as like my favorites in my primary.
Well, thank you.
And we pop up together at Awaken with Julie. I mean, my goodness gracious, how you've awakened this audience, how this mindset has come into a skill set, because you start with your heart, and if it is 8 miles as opposed to 2 feet.
2 feet.
And it might be bigger than 8 miles, but they just measure it. I've always said that I know when to coach and when to be coachable. That was a gem. And you are a jewel, Julie. So
thank you.
What is that last piece? Obviously, you want to find her at juliemurphy.com. You want to find her at Instagram, because you will come away with a jewel every single time, because she has magic with money. So what in the last few minutes would you like to just wrap this up in a pretty bow, so you think finance is, and my finances can be fantastic starting now?
That it doesn't matter where you're starting. It does not matter what it is. It matters what it is that you do each little step from this point forward. Because by you accepting the reality that you've created thus far, then you can become the designer of your life for every piece moving forward. And no matter what it is, you can create anything. Absolutely
you can
anything.
Create anything. And guess what? Your assistant just did something on anything for you. You know what she did for you? I just got to say, the anything is that there are 3 dates: January 22nd, 25th, and 29th, 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Oh, excellent. Okay. See, that's the synchronicity of the universe. It's beautiful.
So we've got those dates, so you can together you can create anything. And Julie, I've got to say that Julie Murphy, Julie is a jewel. Murphy means you just have made magic with money.
Thank you.
because and you're the Julie Murphy, the maiden of money. Just keep me going, and you might have more than you ever
You
need.
are good at those liners. I love it. And I just also want to remind people that if you don't know where to start, also, one of the things I'm doing right now, my Emotion Behind Money book, if you go to my website, we are giving it away for free.
There you go. The emotion of money. It's free. You can go into the spiritual laws. There's a beautiful ebook there. And we are awakened, but you have awakened us because you're awesome.
Thank you.
All I'm going to say is thank you. However you saw us out there, I'm glad you found us with the essence of a woman, because it's that synchronicity.
It is.
Those minds that we just find each other.
We're on the same frequency.
Frequency going with you and your money, and let's just make it really, really hum and be as sweet as that honey for you now and in the new year, because we got the sweetness of Julie Murphy right here and right now. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you.
And so what I can say in that mindset, and each and every single day, what is it? Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial. Financial is under, because it affects all 4 other pillars. And when you do this and you have a fiscally sound plan, then you know what? You can absolutely do anything for humanity that you wish. So I will just say, on this day and in every single way, just decide that you want to make it your day. What kind of day is it? It's just a day where we say, make it a great healthopedia kind of day. But I'm just feeling like I'm going to find this 1 minute for this outro, because this is who Julie Murphy is. Like Tiffany Haddish, our anchor author on The Essence of the Woman, as she said, let's just woman up. And we're going to use that one more time as we say, in each and every day, make it a great healthopedia kind of day. Ciao for now.
Woman up.